Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Long. I'm the General Manager of Cantata Health's Net Solutions Division, and I'm here with Kevin McCormick, who is in Account Management and Technical Sales. And today we're going to be talking about more ways you can save money for your long-term care organization. And today we're going to be talking about sole and single source providers. So welcome, Kevin. Thank you so much again for all of your time. Tell me about, when you're talking about providers, what are you talking about? Like, what kind of providers? Providing what?
Vendors providing medical supplies, food, all the supplies you consume within the skilled nursing facility.
Okay.
And when I talk about single and sole source providers, a single source is you're getting it from everything from one provider. And one of the key benefits there is that you're only negotiating pricing discounts, and it's easier to negotiate with one supplier than with 25 different ones. It takes a lot of time and effort to do that. This allows you to negotiate with one and get it from that one. Somebody like Medline or Geriatric Medical, for example.
Do we have a list of a number of them?
Yeah, everybody's going to know who they are. Cisco for your food, and I'm sure and there's certainly regional ones that people use around the country, and the same goes for the med supplies. But these are the national, the big providers.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry, I didn't interrupt you. What were you saying a second ago?
Oh, and then a sole source procurement is when you're purchasing where there's only one supplier that sells that particular product. So if you needed a specific PPE, for example, and only one provider sells that, that's a sole source provider. And you're not getting, that's when you have unique products, and that's not typically an issue with skilled nursing facilities. But the primary advantage that the single source is that you're negotiating with just one supplier.
Okay, gotcha. So, so why go with a single source?
Yes. So each SNP has the choice to buy from any vendor that they want to. Strategically, and for strategic and cost reasons, a company will most likely decide to go with a specific vendor or supplier, and because it takes time and money to contact every different vendor, request prices. We've all done that, looking to save $10 on, you end up in Amazon or some other online. It's, so this is what it's doing is they're doing the work for you, and you can have confidence, and you've negotiated discounts with them because you're buying everything from one supplier. Okay,
gotcha. How much do they add to the cost though? Like what's the difference if I'm working with that single source? Like, am I paying more? How much more am I paying?
No, you're going to be paying less because they're counting on you, to have a bill in hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars over the course of a year. So they're going to say, hey, we'll give you 15% off list or 20%, whatever you negotiated. If you're a good negotiator, you're only doing it with that one single source where you can get 90% of your products from, if it's med supplies, for example.
Okay. So maybe a really good question for this is, do you know anything about their margins where you could tell people how to negotiate these things? Because I feel like that would be, like if it really is a negotiation, they're not just giving you a price list. How much do they usually bring them down?
It's a negotiation. When I ran facilities, I got 15% off, recalling, for most of the products, which was, and some of them there were no negotiation because that's their bottom line, but they would go down briefs you use a lot in a skilled nursing facility. So we would negotiate specifically on those and haggle about that and they'd bring in different suppliers over a period of time. And I was working with Geriatric Medical at the time, so I could knock down the price on certain ones that were new, for example, to the marketplace versus brand names.
That's really good to know. So 15%, what's the most you ever got off?
That's hard to say because you never know what that, uh, manufacturer's suggested retail price really is. So, I mean, it's very similar to, you know, going to Cisco or so. I mean, you're going from that. Let's say you bought everything from Cisco or Sam's Club. You're getting you're getting deals on each item. It's hard to know exactly what you're getting, but you're typically getting between that 10, 15, 20% less than if you went and went and bought that from another provider. And we went and checked it, obviously, on the pricing. So we thought we were getting some pretty good deals on it.
So to help the administrators out who have never done, or like never really thought about negotiating these things, what are the words that you would use? Let's say I pitch you on the thing. I'm the salesman and I'm like, here's our price list or here's our proposal. What would you say back to me to negotiate that price?
I would look at the things that I've spent the most money on. So, and we'll use briefs as an example.
Okay.
That I would knock down, my biggest cost first and negotiate and say, hey, I can get this at another place. They said I could get it for, X number of dollars. Can you match that? Can you get closer to my price point? Because I'm looking at, over the course of the year, the amount of money you're spending, I want, it totally affects the bottom line. And when the margin, we're working in this industry on razor thin margins. It's very difficult to make any money. And it's also, the last 10 months have been catastrophic to the industry. So it's certainly, a key thing to go and renegotiate and relook at pricing. What are you paying for your supplies?
Okay. So, so go through, pull up all the supplies they're currently doing right now, put them into a spreadsheet, and what would you do? Just figure out like the things that people are you're buying the most of, and call them up and say, hey, I'd like a discount on this particular thing. I'm buying a whole bunch of them from you.
That's exactly it.
All right.
Look at. I'm not going to bother with Q-tips that you spend $100 a year on. But what I'm looking at is things that you're spending tens of thousands of dollars a year on, where you're just. It's the same goes for the biggest expense in a nursing facility is the payroll. Your staff. Of course, you're going to do your best to keep that down. Reduce overtime and watch all that. But the same goes for when you're purchasing items. One of the other ways to do this is group purchasing organizations.
That was my next question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, keep going.
But a group purchasing organization, either company or organizations that do the negotiation of price for a group of providers. And that's for food, medical supplies, medical products, and other services, and professional services as well. So virtually all, skilled nursing facilities are already members of ACA or Leading Age, their state organization, or other provider organizations. And one of the key advantages that they offer is that they can cut costs. They have programs that can cut costs on products and services that you use every day. So if you sign up with them in their group purchasing organization, what you're going to get is the benefits, almost like if you were joining and spending the money to join Costco for the year. When I go and do that on a yearly basis, I can go into Costco, feel confident that they've done the work. They've all their suppliers, they've beaten them down and gotten the best price they possibly can for the consumer. And this is what these purchasing organizations do. Now, there's also independent GPOs. So you pay a fee on a yearly basis, and then you get that group buying discount. So they're going to, again, save you, 10, 20, 30%, depending on what type of service or product or supply that you're buying.
Gotcha. Okay. So it sounds like, is everybody doing this, or are there other people, are there groups that don't know about this?
There are certainly facilities that don't know about this, I would make the assumption that a lot of them do, but I've always done that, and I find that, oh wow, I didn't realize they did that, or they see it but don't make a move on it, and just it's easier to keep things the same than to make a change. But that change is going to save you money, and when your nursing facility doesn't have a full house, you can't get that money back. If you had an occupancy rate of 85%, that 15% is gone. So you have to make it up somewhere. And this is a way to do that. So it's certainly something that each nursing facility or chain of facilities needs to look at really deeply, and see where they can save, because it turns out it's a lot of money.
Okay. So what are some of the other values that the GPOs bring to a Synth?
Yeah, so what they're doing is basically that's a service for you. They're not taking title or possession of the products. What they're doing is that they're enhancing the quality of the services and lowering their members' operating costs by reducing transaction costs. Maybe you're going to get an electronic invoice of everything, and you don't have to enter that in the AP side to track your expenses, which could be, right there, you might be saving time and energy and effort. They're going to negotiate lower prices for suppliers than an individual provider would not be able to obtain on their own. So their buying power, they can also find hard to get supplies like PPEs.
Gotcha.
So, during this COVID-19 crisis, you don't want to be spending all your time trying to find personal protective equipment for your employees and any service people that come in. You want to have someone else doing the digging around for you. That's going to save you time, money, and make sure the supply is there when you need it.
No, it's funny you bring that up, because we're actually in the process right now of donating PPE to some of our customers. We're actually looking for groups to talk to get PPE donated, and maybe I need to actually go to talk to some of these guys to see if we can contract with them so we can donate that PPE.
Yeah, so it's all about increasing the efficiency of the supply chain, which a single buyer, meaning if I was the administrator, the controller of a small group of nursing homes, I don't have that capability. The other thing that it does, it decreases the transportation costs, because you're not dealing with multiple different vendors and having to get charged on each one. So that's another thing that's negotiable as well. And we all know Amazon, everybody pays that $99 here, and you get Amazon Video, Amazon Prime, but you get that free delivery.
Yep.
And so what they're going to do is, decrease that delivery cost for you, the transportation. So that's key. And
that's a really good one. I didn't even think about that, like getting people to negotiating free delivery versus just negotiating the price. That's a nice little additional chip or a nice little card in your hand to play.
Right, but it's also another. If they have to send one truck for, the bulk of 75-80% of your use, one truck comes to your facility, versus a half dozen trucks.
Yep.
Each one of them is going to have a transportation cost. So you do have the ability to negotiate that, and also GPOs can bring down that cost for you and do all the work. So it's certainly worthwhile to take a look at that. Okay,
great. That's fantastic. Any other anything else on single versus sole source stuff?
No, I think I've about covered it all.
Okay, yeah, that was definitely a learning experience for me. So I hope this is helpful for everybody else out there. And any other notes? Anything else? Anything we forgot?
No, I don't think so. I think we got everything, and I hope everybody is out there looking at this and trying to save some money.
So,
especially,
let me ask you. Let's say there's somebody out there who wants to talk to you about negotiating their vendors. Could they call you and just talk? Would you talk to them?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, great. So if they were going to get in touch with you, it's Kevin McCormick, and it's McCormack cantatahealth.com, right?
Right.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so if anybody out there wants to renegotiate your contracts, give Kevin a call or shoot him an email, and he'll help you get that stuff negotiated down. So thank you so much, Kevin. This is super valuable, and I want to let you know that we actually had one of our customers reach out to us right after your last video and let us know that they found it so valuable and they were looking forward to more of these. So I'm really excited to keep doing this. And by the way, your sound sounds amazing. That new mic is doing a great job. So yeah, I'll talk to you next week then.
All right. Sounds great.